Hey, what's up, you guys? Shay here. And I'm just doing a video because you guys are probably wondering what's going on with the channel. A lot of pre-recorded stuff has been going up lately for the past 2, 3 months, and I just wanted to address that stuff. I'm not stopping recording. No, no, that's never. Yeah, I really do enjoy YouTube. It's something I've always been doing. Is you can see if you go into the history of the channel, I've been doing this since I was 11 years old. I really do like video editing and just creating and just documenting my life and the things that go on in it
So who's up first? The punk?
and
Coleman?
not
Or
just what goes
maybe
on in it, but like
I should just scrap all
what
three
the
of you trash
events,
cans at once.
playing video
Wait,
games and all
that's
that, and
right.
just being able
We still
to
haven't seen what you
not
can do,
just
16. Why
you
don't
know
you fight him?
have a place to vent and stuff
Negative.
outside of work,
Prime directive is
but
to eliminate
just
only Goku.
in general being able
Wow.
to
What a
have a
letdown.
safe space.
Fine.
And if
I'll
I'm
do it
able
then.
to entertain anybody, even better. Because,
Vegeta,
once again,
are you
one of my
alright?
favorite things to do is entertain people.
You're really starting
And
to piss me
I
off.
just want to
Vegeta and 18 are about to
talk
fight.
about what's been going on.
So back off.
And what's been going on is, so in January,
Just watching
I
isn't
did the
much
first
fun.
batch of pre-recorded videos.
You know
The reason why was I was out
be
of
having any interruptions.
town.
Be
Um,
warned. I don't plan on going easy
to
on you
elaborate
just
on out of
because you're
town, I
old.
wasn't even in the country. uh, as most people know, I live in
You're an
Canada.
android. You're not really no
And I was in the States. I finally got a passport and decided to go visit friends out in Florida. And
Don't tell me. That wasn't
why was I hanging out with friends from Florida? Well, one, I've known these friends for a very long time, and I kind of make it my mission, I guess, to, in an age where a lot of our friends are now being made online and you're meeting them through Xbox Live or, games and stuff like that through Discord. I make it my mission to go personally meet the people that I grow these, or not grow, but build these connections with. And so I did that. Also, another reason is I have to move. Yeah, I have to move because where I live now was sold, and they intend on not keeping me as a tenant, and so I'm looking to move to the States for
I didn't think
the
you
main
had
reason
this
being
much
just
in you. Does that mean
economy.
that Goku Black's
Um,
even stronger than
I
you?
live in Vancouver. Vancouver is extremely expensive,
It's not
and
like you're a
I,
big deal, either.
even with a well-paying job, I I can't justify it, especially when you know um if I wanted to get a place, a small apartment by where I work, it'd be my whole check, and that is absolutely ridiculous because I work 11-hour days, 6 days a week, and I still can't afford to live in the place I was born. So we're going to Florida. Florida, for the same price of a one-room a basement, I can literally get a whole house, and I'd rather do that. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I will potentially be moving to Florida, which is crazy and insane. And yeah, but it sucks that it's come down to this. But just to put it in perspective, when I first found the news that I had to move, uh, out of luck, I guess, the house across the street's basement was up for rent, but they, for $2,250 a month, they wanted me to rent out their one-bedroom basement that doesn't even have a stove. It has a hot plate. For that same amount, I can rent a 4-bedroom house in the state of Florida, and that is insane. So I went to go see some friends in Florida, and they go check out the surroundings, and I also have some notes that I wrote down because my first trip was insane. So I went in January for a week, so that's all I could get off time for work. And so I left 3 hours early because it had snowed and it was heavily raining. So I got to the airport so I left 3 hours early, got there with literally like 2 hours to spare. So that was fun, being the first time in the airport, my town's airport. It was very bougie. But after being there more than on time, with 2 hours to spare, my plane got delayed by a couple hours. So we were behind schedule. At first, I was like, okay, I've never flown before. But it was my first time flying. I'm like, okay, this will be fine. It'll be good. Just a little behind. We'll be fine. Halfway through the flight, I realized that, I have to be on my next flight at this time. But we were just flying over. I can't remember now. But I was still on a plane when my next plane was supposed to leave. So, yeah, I accepted my fate and watched Blue Beetle, which was a decent DC movie. It was cool that the movie made references to the comics, the older comics that was pretty much Blue Beetle was Batman, but a beetle. And so I get there. My second flight was actually delayed, but because they didn't know if I was going to be making it to that flight, they took my bags off. Mind you, I'm in Toronto now. It's 6 a.m. And I'm like, hey, why can't they get on my flight? They're like, well, we didn't know you're going to be making it to the flight or not, so we took your bags off. I was like, okay, and put them back on. They're like, we can't for security reasons. I was like, okay, so when is my next flight? They're like, 7. Okay. Remember how I said it was 6 a.m. when I got to Toronto? I was like, 7, great, that's in an hour. They're like, not 7 a.m., 7 p.m. At that moment, have never been so furious. So, like, looking back at it, I did react pretty poorly, because I was just like, what do you mean 7 p.m.? I need to be picked up at 12 p.m. from the airport in Florida. They're like, well, your flight doesn't leave. I was like, okay, cool. Is there anywhere I can go? They're like, actually, no. Because you already went through customs, you can't leave the airport. So I spent literally the whole day from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the Toronto airport. And it was hell. Total hell. But two other very friendly German men I met were also on the same flight, delayed and all that. But they were from Toronto. So, they told me to take aspirin before you go on flights. Really random, I know. But because apparently it helped with blood clots. but they were really nice to talk to. They helped me pass the time for a good couple of hours because like I was just so done, so tired already. So I finally get in Florida. I get picked up. There's no problems, right? I appear on the Box Talk podcast. I will be leaving the link to the channel down below, so you guys can go check it out if you want. It's also my community tab. I did post about it, and yeah, that was fun to be on there. Got to talk about work a little bit and just the Canadian lifestyle and the differences between the States and Canada. And then Wednesday comes around. I find there's a freak snowstorm in Vancouver. So I call the people that I booked my flight with. I was like, hey, due to the snowstorm and that being an obvious problem, I would like to switch my flight. They're like, oh, it's gonna pass. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Everything will be smooth. There's no need to switch flights. I was like, okay. So, after, my time up in Florida was up, and all that fun stuff and all that jazz. So, Florida to Chicago, totally fine. Chicago's airport also is beautiful. Absolutely insane. It was also, everyone there was like super friendly. So, I really enjoyed it there. But the problem was Chicago to Vancouver. So, for the most part, the flight was going great. Until we get to Vancouver. We start going in circles for hours. The airport, or I guess whoever is in control of, the runway, forgot to tell them that Vancouver shut down. It shut down due to the freaking snowstorm. So after being in the air, and I'm guessing, they just had to finally land because of gas, I was in Seattle for the night. And I was not a happy camper. See, the crazy thing too is Vancouver isn't too far from Seattle. I believe it's 2 hours away. So immediately I call everybody I could. I'm like, hey, I am in Seattle. Please come pick me up. Everyone was either drunk or working. So I was stuck in Seattle overnight. Then, I finally get back. Next morning to the airport. They put me on a flight. I'm in Canada. And, yeah. I don't know. It was Air Canada, man. Air Canada is just... It ain't it, dog. So, for my second trip, I went with WestJet. No freaking problems at all. Everything on time. Nothing went awry. It was great. And then I also was able, on my second trip, the second trip was pretty great. No problems at all. Yeah, no problems at all. I appeared on a couple of Twitch streams. I was on the channel with Box again. We tried all the flavors of Mountain Dew, and that was fun. You'll be able to see that in my community tab as well. If not, there will be a link in the description. And I just had a grand time. I was there for two weeks and a half, and yeah, I got to explore a little. I got to relax. I got a little nice tan. But seeing how it was spring break, and it was
But I'm
finally the
actually
heat
kind of
came out to
impressed you
play.
held out this long.
I felt like I was melting the whole time I was there. It was awful. I got sick a lot,
Oh.
and I felt too
I think
embarrassed to
it's
even
time we
admit it.
end this little
So I
game.
just dealt with it
You're about done, right?
because everyone there lives there, right? Like that I was staying with. So they probably just were like, "Oh, it's nothing." So yeah. That was fun. I really enjoyed everything. I got to try Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is mid, by the way. I don't understand the hype. I got to try Red Lobster, which I actually preferred over Chick-fil-A. And Olive Garden.
Don't worry.
That shit was
Still alive.
bussin'.
You'd better hurry up, though. Give them those sensu beans of yours.
And Wawa? Bro,
So, should we get going?
Wawa is dope.
Aren't we going to
It's
ask
like
them the whereabouts of
amazingly dope.
Nah.
It was really great.
It'll be more fun.
And it was also really weird going into a Target again. Because we had Target in Canada for a hot minute, but because of everything being so expensive, it killed itself, man.
I'm fine
It,
as long as we can make a
it wasn't a good idea. But it was interesting to be back in a Target after
I think I'm going to need
haven't
a
been
new
in
outfit.
one for so long.
Sure,
And
why
yeah,
not?
I
Hey,
went
wait,
back
Wait.
Huh?
after my flight
What is it that
was
you
the
guys are after?
go.
I mean,
Was a
why are
go,
you
sorry.
doing this?
And I went from Florida, Toronto, back to
Take care of
Vancouver.
Goku.
And
I mean,
yeah, there was no
why are you
hiccups.
going
WestJet,
after Goku?
you did your job
Hey,
as
this is all just a game.
intended with planes, and
I
it
mean,
was very smooth, and thank you.
Goku's the strongest guy around.
But yeah,
Am I
we're
right?
gonna get back to the regular videos
Probably won't just stop because I asked you to, right?
starting next week,
Negative.
and
We
we
were
will be
created
having
for the
fun.
sole purpose of
And I really
eliminating
hope that
Goku.
you guys
You heard the big
enjoy
guy. Yeah,
me, my
but
entertainment,
shouldn't you be helping your
whoever
friends
I have on the
instead of
channel,
talking to us?
and wherever you see me out in the wild. And I really hope you guys keep supporting me and showing the love that you guys do, and that I can continue pursuing YouTube on the side as
Bye.
a hobby and stuff like that. So, just want to keep you guys updated with
I
what's
gotta
going on.
help the others.
So thank you guys so much for watching the videos, watching the shorts, and I will catch you guys soon. Stay safe.